Put my phone on mute. Okay. Welcome to our team call for May. I'm going to share my screen and we can get going. All right. Can you guys see this? Give me a thumbs up or something.
We can see
that
it.
Works too. Okay. Michelle, you want to take us?
Sure. So Sarah and I talked this week, and we were talking about how to sort of re-energize all of our challengers and how to kind of re-energize sort of our marketing and our own businesses. And so what we thought we would do is, you know, we started Fit and Focused in January, and our intention was to have a year-long accountability group that we could just continually add people to. And I think that this group has done really well, and I think that we've been able to keep people engaged. But I think that what we would like to do is kind of launch a Fit and Focus, almost like 2.0, for a couple of reasons. One is we'd like to sort of weed out anybody who maybe is in the group but no longer participating, but just hasn't removed themselves. We'd also like to kind of re-spark people's energy with their goals and their focus for 2017. And I think from a business perspective, it gives us an opportunity to kind of market the fact that we haven't necessarily started like a new challenge group. You know, anybody who's been a coach for a while or with us for a while, we used to do a new challenge group every month. And so we had that opportunity for marketing purposes to say, hey, my new group starts on XYZ date. But at least I have not necessarily done that with Fit and Focus, because for a couple of reasons. One is I would get a lot of repeat people, which is fine. But then I'd be like, oh, well, you're already in the group. Do you know what I'm saying? So we thought like this would be a really great way we're going into summer. People are like, oh shit, I'm not where I want to be. You know, is this an opportunity for us to sort of revamp sort of our energy and efforts for our accountability group for 2017? I don't think we're not going to delete the current group by any means, and we can still, you know, work to post in there periodically. But I think what we would like to do is just sort of refresh and restart and give new challengers that opportunity to kind of start at ground zero like we did in January. So, you know, we'll remind our current challengers of all of those, you know, basic things that they need to be focused on with planning and prepping and you know, setting up their environment for success. But that'll be really good for either people who were added later in the spring or the, you know, late winter, early spring, and any new challengers that we can get who are being added currently. And so between the opportunity to sort of remarket and, you know, this discounted cost of $160 for the All Access Challenge Pack, we just thought it would be a really great way to kind of have a good push for May and get a new group kind of started. And anybody who's in the current Fit and Focus, if they want to, you know, join this new group, obviously they're welcome to do so. And I think it would be for sure worth it to reach out to all of your challengers who are currently in there, see how they're doing with their goals, see how they're feeling. Do they need a new program? Do they need, you know, they may already have All Access, but are they just sticking with the program that they know? Do they need us to kind of talk through what their goals are and maybe recommend them try a new program? So it could be a really good opportunity for conversation. And all of those challengers that are in there, I think it also lends a great opportunity to maybe talk to them about coaching. and, exploring that opportunity and what that means for them and their journey and their opportunity to help other people. If they're a superstar challenger in the group, this might be a really good opportunity for them.
Adding to that also, if you have people in the Whole Foods group, it's a great spur off from them finishing the Whole Foods group in May and continuing with it and having a plan rather than them just kind of trying to figure out what the heck is going on next, and it's a good opportunity to invite people if you have them in the Miracle Morning group too. Am I echoing? Yes.
No, I think you're good.
I'm echoing those. I can see Anna and Sarah saying yes.
It's Michelle needs to mute herself because it's echoing from Michelle, I think.
Oh, hang on.
Interesting. Am I echoing now? Huh. All right. Well, I'll take this one anyway. Was Michelle echoing? And she was talking? No, I didn't think so. Okay.
Not really, but I think if you're both unmuted, then it echoes. You know what I mean? So you just have to go one at a time.
Okay. So Anna had wanted to do a plank challenge. She had asked me about it a couple weeks ago. We were trying to figure out how to incorporate into our 30-day group, and we can definitely still do that, but we're going to do an actual 7-day one starting the 22nd. And for 7 days, so nothing crazy to add into on top of what we already have going on. But I was thinking that it would be a good opportunity for each coach who has people in there to take a day. So say we do 2 posts a day, one morning, one evening. Everybody take one and put your twist on it, post something. So it leaves 14 spots basically. Anna, did you want to add to that?
No, I know that there are, I've been approached by a lot of people that would like to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about it because I know that there's going to be a lot of people in this.
Good.
That I've been talking to. This is something that I think will help them jumpstart their excitement about something like exercise, and then hopefully this will trail over into programs and nutrition and all that.
Definitely.
But I think it's a good hey, you want to try my plank challenge? Everyone says yes to that for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially moms.
Definitely.
So I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. I think a lot of people will get in this.
Good. And then also with that start date, it'll kick over into June too. So an easy way to transfer people into a new group.
Yeah. So what days you want? Are we going to do how are we going to do it? Is it going to be a different kind of plank or plank tap type thing, or just the time length?
Whatever you guys want to do. We can throw ideas out, figure it out, alternate, timing, or I don't know. I just say, okay, the first day's a minute. Maybe that's too long, but the first day's a minute. The second day is a minute with the taps. You know what I mean? The third day's a minute and a half. The fourth day's a minute and a half with something else. You know what I mean? We can play with it, do whatever we want.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we have time to think about that. I can start a thread in our group. Michelle can start a thread in her group and just kind of throw ideas out there and put something together.
Awesome.
For my team, I emailed this to you guys today. Michelle, we can post it in the.
Mine's coming for my team.
Yes.
I'm almost done.
So take the time to go through it because it's a good resource for you to have, for you to kind of make your own once you're sending it to your own coaches. It's really thorough and it hits a lot of key points that I feel like new coaches need to see right off the bat. So if you're one of my new coaches, you just got it. If you've been a coach with me for a while, you got it anyway. So I just wanted to touch on that. And then, Michelle, would you like to take over? Oh, I wanted to add in real quick. Make a list. Make a list of 25 people. I know I have that in my thing, but that was kind of homework from our last call. But go ahead.
All right, so we wanted to talk a little bit about posting and then sort of working on forming people. Sarah and I are going through some really great trainings right now with some really good mentors. And one of the kind of common red threads that we hear over and over and over again is about posting and posting with intention. And I think that there's so much importance in posting, the frequency of your posts, and then the content and value that is presented in your posts. So one of the things that we talk a lot about is with every post, and we did a training on this a couple months back, but you should always be posting to your avatar. And if you don't know what that means, that basically means you need to, one, spend time and think about who is like you, like who is the customer or the coach, the future coach that you're trying to attract. You know, if you're married, obviously you're going to probably want to post to somebody or attract people who are married, or moms, or you know, Anne Marie, I am only going to call you out because I know that because you have said this to me, that, you know, you're 50, so you want to post to kind of that middle-aged woman and let them know that they don't have to give up on their goals just because they're 50. So always kind of keeping in mind who that person is that you're posting to is going to be super, super important. I would not, you know, post to somebody who is just getting married. I mean, last year I might have because I was in my sister's wedding. And so that was a big part of my life, helping my sister to plan her wedding. That is over. I am not helping her plan her wedding anymore. So I'm not necessarily working to attract maid of honors and new brides and stuff at this point. So always kind of keeping in mind who your avatar is going to help you post with intention. Okay. Busy moms, you know, I posted a soup recipe tonight because I didn't get home until 7:15. We were starving. I had a soup made and ready to go. So that's kind of, I was posting, you know, picture of my soup. Do you want the recipe? Drop an emoji below. I'll message you the recipe, that type of thing. So always post with intention. 3 times a day, 7 days a week. It sounds like a lot, but it is not, because people are not on their phones all day. They're not on Facebook all day. They're not on Instagram all day. So you might post something in the morning, but if I don't log on to my computer until 7 o'clock at night or log on to Facebook until after work, whatever you posted at 7 o'clock that morning is not going to be in my news feed. It's not going to be present. I'm not going to see whatever it was that you posted. And so making sure that you're posting 3 times a day, 7 days a week is super important, because you want to hit those different times of the day for those people who are on Facebook at different times of the day. Taking time on Sunday to think about what you're going to post throughout the week, super important. Posting on the fly is fine every now and then, but again, if you're posting with intention and you're thinking ahead about what is it that my avatar could benefit from, or what is it that my avatar would like to see, is going to be super important. Sarah did a great post today. Sarah, I loved that wallet post where you said, like, so many people out there want to buy a Vera Bradley wallet, say, and they're like $45 or $50. And Sarah got one at the dollar store?
Dollar store.
A dollar store? Okay, looks just like a Vera Bradley and probably cost her $1 or $5. So for a working mom or a mom a stay-at-home mom who's on a single income because of her spouse is the only one working, spending $50 on a wallet is probably not realistic. So Sarah posted, something that would be very attractive to, a stay-at-home mom or a mom who just doesn't have a lot of discretionary income to buy things for ourselves, which happens a lot. So making sure that, you think about things that are going to attract your customer is going to be important. If I was a stay-at-home mom and I saw Sarah's post or being a mom who doesn't have a ton of discretionary income and I saw that wallet, I think, holy crap, hey, that was great. Like, thanks, Sarah. I'm going to head to the dollar store and I'm going to get myself a nice new wallet. Or I'm going to go buy my mom a Mother's Day gift, So good timing on that, by the way.
Thanks.
5 things that make you you. So again, for me, it would be that I'm a working mom. I'm a boy mom. I'm a runner. I am a Navy wife. And, one other thing. So kind of really sort of identifying the 5 key things that make you you is, again, going to help you post with content that is going to be attractive to other people who are like you. Live videos. All right, so I know a lot of us are afraid of live videos. They're not always the easiest thing to do, but they help to gain attraction on your page, and it helps to show people who you really are. And don't feel like you have to go super deep in your live videos or that you need to bring some sort of a revelation to the table. Your videos can be short, just a couple minutes. Again, Sarah, I'll call you out because you did a great one this week where she showed how to use a spray bottle with olive oil to drench her Brussels sprouts. And I think the video was like maybe 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
Super easy. She was in her kitchen. You could tell like it was a day that, she was prepping her food, her meal for the week. So it was a really great video, super short. And I know even myself, I looked at that video, I'm like, damn, that's genius. So I think that's, again, a good tip. And that's all it could be. It could just be, hey, moms, or hey, ladies, I have a quick tip for you. Super simple. If you want to do a live video and go deep, totally do that. That has good impact too. But don't feel like you have to get on and do a live, 15-minute video to have any impact. We have a static calendar. I feel like I posted it in Team Mojo, and I'm going to try to dig it up. Oh, Sarah has it.
Kind of. It's our old calendar.
Sarah, can you talk about this? I feel like I just heard something upstairs.
Go ahead. So as far as some of you know this, this isn't exactly a wonderful example, but it's what I pulled together last minute. So Mondays is usually like you could do a motivational Monday post, or Tuesdays, a tasty Tuesday, you share a recipe. Wednesdays, workout Wednesday, share something about your workout, maybe your favorite move, whatever you want to do. Thursdays is, people would say, Throwback Thursday. I would say sharing something about your story. How have you changed? What has happened since you started on your journey? What has happened since you started coaching? Anything like that, anything that you want to share, because it's important that you do share your story and people relate to you more than just with nutrition or working out or something like that. They really need to know you and who you are, and that's where they're going to connect. There's Flex Fridays, there's Feel Good Fridays. Make them fun Fridays, put it that way. Saturdays, there's nothing on the calendar, but I would do something fun, with the family or whatever, going somewhere, having dinner, anything like that. And then Sundays, we normally would say, do a coach post. If we have a sneak peek coming up, do a call to action post. but something relating to coaching. How has your life changed since coaching? What have you learned about yourself since you started coaching? You know, anything like that. Let me go back up here. You know, you want to show your life with your posts. You don't want to be all Beachbody. You want to sprinkle in Beachbody like one post a day or some kind of fitness or health one time a day. The rest of it should be you, you know, and what you have going on. And so people are going to relate to you and not be attracted to, oh, she's a Beachbody coach. Okay, I'm going to join her because of that. No, I'm going to join her because I relate to her because of what she's been through so far, or she's grown so much. I think she could help me, you know, that kind of stuff. So I threw in some ideas for posting. Michelle, do you want to take back over? Or doesn't matter?
Yeah, so different types of posting ideas. So one of the things that I think is super important for you to remember, and Sarah Littman, you've been a coach for long enough, and I've seen you do this. A lot of coaches have posted their befores and afters. Don't be afraid. If you see a coach post a before and after of themselves, do not be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, you know, super inspiring. Would it be okay if I shared your before and after too? I feel like even our customers respond really, really well to seeing befores and afters that aren't us. And always, you know, shout out that person and say, hey, you know, this is my fellow coach, my fellow teammate, blah, blah, blah. You know, check out this transformation that they've had from XYZ program. So don't be afraid to ask for that. Obviously, posting your own story is going to help people to connect to you. Your progress transformation, absolutely inspiring. You know, and it doesn't have to be a huge change. And it does not have to be a visual change. It doesn't have to be a scale change. You can talk about how your energy levels are different, or you've been able to reduce your cholesterol or things like that. So there's lots of pieces of your transformation that you can post about that don't necessarily have to be a side-by-side or talk about how the number on the scale. I think we always talk about so much about the value of those non-scale victories. And I think, you know, putting those out there and reminding people that it's more than just the number on the scale is super important. Talk about how your lifestyle has changed, recognition. You know, if you're working with a challenger or you have a new coach who has done something great, shout them out, make them feel good. You know, that just shows people the kind of community that we've built around us with coaching, and that it's more than just health and fitness, that it's a sisterhood, that it is a community, that it's a support system, and that goes far beyond just being a coach and helping others. Recipes are always really well received. Obviously, pictures of your workouts, pictures of you with your shake and the value of the shake. Always add a call to action if you can with your challenge groups and coaching. So, you know, you post that you have a challenge group coming up, or that we have a new coach training or a sneak peek that's going to be happening. You know, always put a call to action at the bottom. Comment below if you'd like to be added. You know, something like that. Feel free to be creative. Check out some of the top coaches and look to see what call to action they have, you know, at the end of their posts. Just so that you have the opportunity to get people to reply. Always a good way to kind of then move on to the next part of what we're going to talk about.
Yes. Just remember, like, your vibe is going to attract your tribe. So what you're putting out to the world is what is going to come back to you. So just keep that in mind as you're posting. Okay, so then what? What do we do with all these posts? You want your post, you're going to be able to go back and people who have liked it, people who have commented, anything like that. You can then go and, build relationships with these people and eventually, possibly invite them. But first, build the relationships, find common interests, be relatable, compliment them, love on them, connect with them, learn about their life. Like Craig Holliday is always saying, ask questions and just listen. They don't really need to hear what you have until you see a need. You need to be the one finding out about them. And find out, is this somebody that you want to work with, right? Because that's the beauty of this, is we have a choice. We want to work with people that are like us and that we're going to connect with and who are going to become, our team and our community. So you don't want people that you have nothing in common with. You want people who you're going to relate to and who are going to relate to you, because it's just going to flow that much easier and the conversations are going to go that much easier too. And then what does this person need and want in their life? If you get to know them and you see what their life looks like and you ask them, is this what they want their life to look like? And then you can eventually say, do they have a way to make it look like that? And then go from there, if that makes sense. And you can do that with the business. You can do that with health and fitness. So many different ways to relate that to what we do. I guess I kind of skipped over how to start a convo. But I would just say, be authentic and believe in what you have and just relate it to people. And people are going to be attracted to your passion of what you do and the progress that you're showing, stuff like that. So I'm going to flip it back over to Michelle to talk about how to start a convo.
Yeah, and I think, when I think about okay, so the types of posts that generally will get the most traction are going to be side-by-sides, before and afters. Any post where you're asking for an opinion. Right before we went to Punta Cana, Sarah posted 3 pictures, I think, 3 dresses, her in a dress, 3 pictures side by side. If you have not seen it, go back to her page. She had 100 comments on that picture. And she's basically saying, which dress should I wear? Okay, so nothing to do with health and fitness. She got 100 comments. So now what are you supposed to do? Take each one of those people and you send them a private message. Hey, thank you so much for commenting on my dress. I picked B. How are you doing? Okay. Super simple. You're not saying a word about health and fitness. Your post wasn't about health and fitness, but now you've opened the door to start a conversation with somebody. Earlier this week, I did the drop a heart below for however many pounds you would like to lose if you knew you could not fail. Okay, I had 50-something comments, I think. I have reached out to every single one of those people just to say, and I did the next morning, I said, hey, I saw your heart on my post last night. How have you been? And then I went on to say, I went on to ask them about their fitness goals. If you were going to build some fitness goals right now, what would that look like? Now I have all of these conversations started, and that what is health and fitness related. So either way, every post that you do, reach back out to those people and somehow relate back to the post that you did and their response, whatever it was. And then even if it's just as, how are you doing? And take it from there. People are going to respond back to you. They're going to reply. And if they don't, that's okay. That gives you an opportunity to follow up with them in a month or 2. But always look for those opportunities to start conversations, even when it's the most basic of opportunities. Again, and if you haven't ever done a side-by-side post, try it, because I'm telling you, those are the types of things that people are they want to give their opinion. People like to give their opinion. I did one over on like a snow day. I think I did one with Tom's shoes, and I had a ton of responses. And again, I reached out to every single one of those people, and I just said, "Hey, thanks for your reply on my Tom's post. I ended up picking option B. I can't wait to get them in the mail. I'll let you know. Have you tried Tom's in the past, or have you worn Tom's, or have you tried a different?" Again, nothing to do with health and wellness, but I'm opening the door for conversation. So then when they write back to me, I can engage in conversation with them. And then that leads to expand the conversation in other places. So, always go into the conversations with an open mind, and it may never get to the point where you talk about health and fitness, and that's okay. But you're building relationships. Now you're becoming relevant to that person. You're in their news feed. They're going to think of you. They're going to see something that you post that triggers a thought with them. And that's when they're going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, tell me more about this. What is it that you do, or what this program is all about?"
But anytime anybody likes your post or comments and you haven't had a conversation with them, even if it's a picture of your kids and it's got nothing to do with anything, and they just like it, I would just reach out, or an inspiration post, anything like that. Just thanking them for liking your post, and it's great having them on your page. How are they doing? Like, don't overthink it. And I think that's a problem that I did, is I overthought this stuff for so long. But that's not, like, people are like, "Oh my gosh, she actually thanked me. How are you?" Like, they get back to you, and it just goes from there. And especially on Instagram, that's a great way. I mean, people love it, inspirational stuff on Instagram, and that's a great conversation starter. I don't mention anything about health and fitness. It's just, "How are you? Thank you for the love. I appreciate your support so much. I love having you on my page." Something like that. Anything. Very simple. Michelle, did you have anything else to add to that? Okay. And then the follow-ups. And then if you guys have been coaching for a while, this is where all the magic happens. So if you are talking to them and you do get into the conversation of health and fitness, and you send them information or you send them a video, first and foremost, before you send that video, or before I send the video, I always say, "Can you watch this today or tomorrow? Or can you watch this in the next day or two?" "Yes, I can." "Okay, I'm going to check back with you, like, today. I'm going to check back with you on Friday. Does that sound good?" "It sounds good." "Okay." So then I have a reason to go. Like, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, hey, did you watch that video yet?" No, they told me they're watching the video. They know I'm coming back on Friday to check in with them. So it just takes that awkwardness out of it. So always make sure you set a date to follow up if you are sending somebody info. Don't just say, "All right, I'll talk to you later about it," or "Give me a shout after you watch it," because chances are they might forget or whatever. And then it's just kind of awkward sometimes when you're like, "Oh, hey, okay, another day went by. Oh, hey," Another thing is just love on their page, like their stuff, comment on their stuff. So you get back into their head, and they'll probably jump back and be like, "Oh shoot, I never responded to her. Let me get back with her." You can definitely check back in with people. Say you haven't talked to them in a month, and you just want to say, "I'm circling back. I wanted to see how you're doing. How is everything? What's new with the kids? Yada, yada, yada." Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can make a special news feed of friends that you pick, and you can label it whatever you want. But then you don't have everybody in your news feed. You can have those people that you are building relationships with. Like, I have a 2017 relationships newsfeed that I will add people into as I connect with them. So I'm not scrolling through everybody trying to search for these certain people. I can strictly click on that feed, go through, like, comment, and it saves time. As well as your challengers. If you make a challengers news feed, you can go through and love on them. It just kind of makes life easier and speeds up it saves you time. And then definitely track. Most of if you need help tracking, you don't know what to do yet, we will cover that in our new coach training, but definitely write down who you're talking to, because people will slip through the cracks. And people will probably slip through the cracks anyway. Nobody's perfect. I don't think we've found a perfect system yet, but writing it down, I am a pen and paper type of person. And at least if I write that down, I can go back through for months and look and see if I maybe forgot somebody or whatever. Don't rely on your messenger for that. So that's what I have for follow-ups. Michelle, do you have anything to add?
Nope, that was good. I'm pen and paper.
Sorry. And statistically, people normally have to see something 8 to 10 times before they commit. So don't feel crazy.
And don't assume that people know what you do.
No, not at all.
So you might be in people's news feeds, but they might not really be paying attention, and they might not have any idea that you can actually help them. Or they might not have any idea what Beachbody is. I feel like now that I'm in Beachbody, I'm like, how do people not know what Beachbody is? Like, hello. But in reality, like, people are like, so what is Beachbody? And I always say, like P90X, 21 Day Fix, Insanity. And they're like, oh, really? And you're like, oh my God. Like, but people they don't know. So don't assume that everybody knows what it is that you do.
I didn't have Beachbody coaches in my Facebook before I found Tara.
Right. Yep.
So I guess typically we don't have 150 other coaches in our news feed, right? Let me stop sharing. All right. Does anybody have questions or anything they want to talk about or touch on? You can unmute yourself. Janet, do we unmute you? All right. I guess we're good then.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, post in our team pages. We'll answer you. Start thinking about the plank challenge. Start thinking about our Fit and Focus 2.0. And start talking to people about it, because June 1st is going to be here before we know it.
June 5th.
June 5th.
Right? Something like that.
5th.
The first Monday. All right, guys, have a good. Anna, did you want to say something? Oh.
All good.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon.
Bye.